We was. You think we ain't when we is. Glad to be here. It's the daily go get up Mism show. And it's Friday night. Flashback Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I'm just glad to have made it here. I need a couple of days off. Actually, I need like a week. But I may need a week, but we're going to start it off strong. So what's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling tonight? Tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Em Ism Show, we are talking about making your private business public, or should I say going public with your private business. Going public with your private business. Listen, your business is your business, and you can do whatever you want to do. You can tell whatever you want to tell about yourself. You can show whatever you want to show about yourself, but is it really all about you when you start to put all of your your private business on blast? Is it really all about you? It would probably be all about you if you were the only one that you were talking about, and in any of your stories, any of your trysts, any of your adventures, you were the only one that was involved. It's hard to tell an interesting story that involves nobody except for yourself. So that's where it can get really dicey when we start talking about going public with your private business. Now, in this age of social media, many people believe it is their right, their God-given right to say whatever they want to say, regardless of who is involved, of who disapproves, or who may also be involved in or added into the stories. So that's where it can get really dicey. You know, I don't understand why some people on social media feel the need to display their bodies, feel the need to tell all of the crazy things that they've done, sexual exploits. I know that sex and violence sells. If you put out a video about, with somebody getting hurt or if somebody doing it, people are going to watch it. They're going to watch it. They're going to share it. You're going to blow up. So some people take this to the next level. When you already have somebody that has attention-seeking behavior, and now they have an outlet such as social media to really get their shit off. Now what? Well, we know what happens now. But we're going to talk about going public with your private business and how it can affect not just the person who is going public with their business, but other people who may be associated with them. So hold on to your hats, put your seatbelt on, and let's rock. Let's rock. Let's get it together. Let's do this thing. We're going to make sure that we have something to sing. Going public with your private business. Why? And hold on, because a lot of people think that it's only the younger generation that does this, and that's not true. That is not true. We have the same behavior being displayed by many of our middle-aged people, and some. I got a feeling that even some of the elderly are doing this as well. Because when you think about it, remember when what was the old lady, the elderly lady that had the real potty mouth? Everybody really loved her. She passed away last year, or did she pass away this year? Whatever the case is, remember how she was, she would talk about the way she felt about sex, drugs, hood shit, love, whatever. She was just real free. And, that was everybody's social media grandma. That was their favorite grandma. Not Betty White. Betty White was an actress. This person we talking about was black. Vita B, what's going on? Care Bear, thanks for coming through. Stacy White, Thanks. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Mucho, 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 mucho. But yeah, this grandmother, remember she used to have her hair like she would have her hair up in the ponytail that the other women put the ponytail on. With the ponytail that you put the ponytail on, that's how she wore her hair. She was brown skinned. Remember, she was thin. They put her on blast. And I see now on these videos, these little shorts or reels or whatever. Now they got a new grandmother. They got a new elderly grandmother that's talking about love and sex and relationships and stuff like that. And she kind of got it going on too. She kind of has it going on too. But my point is, isn't that a form of making your private business public? Going public with your private business. I don't know how old those ladies were. Well, I know the one that passed, she was like 93. She was an old lady. And now this new elderly lady that they have, I'm not sure how old she is. She could be in her 70s, she could be in her 80s, she could be in her 90s for all I know. But I know one thing, this new lady that they have is really, I'm kind of feeling what she's talking about. They asked her if her man cheated on her, what would she do? And the lady said, what would I do about what? Like, she was like, they were like, what would you do? Like, would you leave him? She was like, leave him for what? Like, where am I going to go? And it's funny because when you hear the elderly put it that way, it's like they telling you, like, you asking a stupid question. I'm not, because the lady she said something like, as long as my man is doing what he's supposed to do at home, I'm not going to be spending all my time worrying about what he's doing out there in the streets. And the younger woman asked her, well, wouldn't you want to, know what your man is doing and have more control and all of that? And the lady looking at her like, oh, your age is showing. You think you can stop a man from doing what he gonna do? And she got a video saying this new lady they got has a video saying that she feels proud of faking orgasms and all of that. And they was like, well, why should you do that? She was like, to make them feel good. And bottom line is that's another way of making your private business public. Whether you're talking about how you feel about something or how you have done something or whatever. Many people in this world really protect their feelings, the way that they feel about things. Like asking a white person, who they voted for. Like, hold on now. Like, who I vote for. But anyway, yeah, I guess you can't really tell a person what they can say about themselves or about the things that they have done. But it doesn't mean that you can't express your opinion. And it doesn't mean that you have to approve of it. But when we start talking about making your private business public, like if you want to, let's do some clear-cut examples. Care Bear says, every time I open up on this show, I make my private business public. That's true. But you could say you've been asked to do it or encouraged to do it. What happens when you do it on your own? For example, you make a post talking about how your baby father is not taking care of his son or his daughter or his children. Like he promises them, that he's going to come and get them or that he's going to buy them things or that he's going to be more involved. And then he doesn't show up. And you feel some kind of way about, you know how mothers get about fathers not not being active, and definitely making promises to children that they don't keep. You know, mothers feel some kind of way about that. They don't like to see their children disappointed in that way. It's legitimate beef. It's a legitimate gripe. But when you put that on social media, that's your private business. Now you've made it public. Even if you didn't use his name, the whole world didn't ask for you to put your situation on social media or wherever you put it, but you did. And you may say, well, it's my business because that's my baby, and you know, my baby father is wrong. He shouldn't do that. He's, you know, a lot of people out here can't even have children of their own, and here you are treating yours, you know, poorly or whatever. Some people might say, yeah, he should be put on blast. And any father who's not representing for their kids should be put on blast too. You might feel that way. You may honestly feel that way. But does that give you the right to put it out there like that? Because people who do know you or know who your child's father is, they may say, like, even though she didn't use his name or his likeness, we know who she's talking about, and that's not right. Because maybe they know a different side of the story. So it's hard. It's hard to put your private business in the public in a vacuum. In other words, without associating yourself with anybody else or without affecting somebody else. Even if you decide to take off your shirt and show your titties in front of everybody, mom might feel some kind of way about it. Like, this is an indictment of how I raised her. Or him. You sending dick pics to random chicks in their inbox? Who encouraged you to do that? Who told you to do that? So making your private business public, it has consequences, and it has far-reaching effects on other people other than yourself. So you may feel like I'm only talking about myself. I'm only putting myself on blast. It's nobody else's business. Jobs understand this. They understand that it's not just your private business. If you say something like, yeah, I work at Walmart on the boulevard, and they ain't paying me shit, and they don't treat their employees right, and they be overcharging for TVs on Black Friday. Well, you could best believe if Walmart finds out about that, they're gonna come holler at you, and they're not just gonna want to have a talk with you. You're gonna get fired. Now you might feel like, well, it's my job. Like, why can't I talk about the way I'm getting treated at my job? Because it's slanderous. It's slanderous. And more people work at Walmart than just you. And more people are affected by Walmart than just you. So you can't just put your private business in the public like that. You named names, even addresses. Now, unless you don't want to work there anymore, you better fix that. V2B says, the older I get, the more I realize everybody don't need to know your updates. But sharing testimony is necessary. I can relate to that. We all relate to each other on different levels. I feel that. And I'm not even saying that you can't talk about what you want to talk about or display what you want to display. You can express yourself the way you want to express yourself. All I'm saying is that I think it's important to understand that it's not just you that will be affected. you have the potential to affect other people with the actions, with your actions, with the things that you do. So the things that you write, the things that you say, the way that you are, the things that you put on display, they will affect more than just you. Now, being selfish, you probably won't want to acknowledge that or admit that or whatever you might call it. But it exists. It exists. So what do we do in this age of social media? And like I said, it's not just the young kids. It's not just the young kids out here wilding, you know what I mean, taking off all their clothes and not thinking about their future, not thinking about their reputation, not thinking about anything except for what brings them attention and money, money and attention, attention and money. And attention and money are very, very attractive things. You get enough attention, the money will start rolling in. You get enough money, you're going to get the attention. You see? One feeds the other. They feed each other, pretty much. So, are you wrong? Are you wrong for putting yourself out there? It's a judgment call. Some people will agree that you are wrong. Some people will say, hell no. Talk your shit. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Even if you talk about the way that you were raised, that's your private business. You know, if you talk about the way that you were raised, whether you talk about that you were abused, or whether you talk about the food that y'all used to eat, or whether you talk about how your parents may have played favorites, or listen, when it comes to family matters, there's no end to the possibilities of how ratchet things can get, or unorthodox things can get. Everybody's family, each person's family has different experiences. There's no accounting for any of it. We all have different experiences as it pertains to our family. So yeah. Who's going to be able to tell you that you can't talk about how you were raised? Maybe you were abused, or maybe you were treated unfair, or maybe you were neglected, or maybe you had a relationship that was really rocky in the beginning and then it grew and blossomed. Some people really don't appreciate their parents when they're young because their parents may be strict, or things like that. And as you get older, you start to understand why they were like that. Some people grow to understand why their parents were the way that they were, and some people never do. But if you put that on blast, it's going to affect more people than you. So certain things can happen, like you put that on your social media, that you were abused or treated unfairly, or how your mom used to walk around naked all the time, or how she, seemed to love the boyfriends that she used to have more than she loved her kids. You know what I mean? More than likely, some aunties and uncles ain't going to like you putting that on social media. They ain't going to like that. They're going to feel some kind of way. Like we don't get down like that. Your mom was going through something, blah, 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 blah. But she always made sure that y'all didn't want for nothing, and you shouldn't do. But they might be right. They might be wrong. They might be neutral. Offsetting penalties. So, but it is your experience. And who can tell you that you can't put your experience on social media or in the public? Who's to tell you that? So it really is one of those things. It's one of those things where you will affect other people by putting your private business in the public. And some people really don't want their business in the public. I don't know about y'all, but I have aunts and uncles and some cousins who are not on social media and will not allow themselves to be. So like when you take pictures of them or whatever, they like do not put that on Facebook. Don't put that on nothing. No Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. I have family members that act like they in a witness protection program. I don't know about y'all. Matthew Denniston, you wanted me to say your name, you got it. Boom. Thanks for coming through. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get comfortable, do your thing. VDB says, once it's out there, it's out there. My daughter was bullied because of her post in middle school. I ain't gonna lie, Vita. I wouldn't want to be part of this younger generation for all the, no. I wouldn't want to be a teenager right now. I wouldn't want nothing to do with being a teenager at this time in history. Because although we grew up having it hard, they have a different kind of hard. Nobody knew if we got knocked out in a fight back in the day. Only people who knew were the people that were there. There were no cameras. There was no video. Nobody who wasn't there got a chance to see it. We had to describe it. Nowadays, yeah, you got 40,000 viewers, 40,000 people seeing that you got beat up. Or never forgetting that you beat somebody up. Because the time comes when you move on from certain things that you've done, good and bad and good. The time will come when you're ready to move on from whatever you have done. Even if it's a good thing. There may be a time later on when you speak about how you used to work in the soup kitchen, how you used to work for the Salvation Army, how you used to feed the homeless, how you used to be so altruistic. You may have gotten disenchanted with that. The same way as there may have been a time when you used to stick people up or take pocketbooks or snatch things or steal things or hurt people or have a really bad temper. The time will come when you will be ready to move on from whatever you have done. And in this day and age, they're not letting nobody get away. It seems like everything that you have done is in the public eye somewhere. Somebody got it on tape. If you raised your voice or raised your fist, somebody got it on tape. And of course, it's not just the young people who are affected by that, but I couldn't imagine growing up in this era and having to deal with that. That's tough. But that's what they're working with. That's what we all working with right now. Making your private business public. Going public with your private business. Going public with your private business. Is it really all your business? When they tell you to mind your business, are they really just talking about the one person? Maybe sometimes it is that way. A lot of times it's really not. You make the call. Whether you're talking about, talking about a former lover of yours, talking about your job, talking about your family, talking about your kids, your neighbors. Well, this is my life. I can talk about my life. You sure can. But Don't make the mistake of thinking that you're only talking about your life, even when you're only when you think you're only talking about your life. There are other people that can be affected and probably will be. So stay on your P's and Q's. Mind your pints and quarts. Mind your pints and quarts. I ain't gonna beat this topic in the head. I ain't gonna beat it in the head tonight. Actually, tell y'all the truth, I'm not feeling that great. So I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. I'm gonna treat myself a little bit and lay down. Get up tomorrow, feel a little better. But let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious November 10th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Her Gigi. Happy birthday to you, and also Doreen Baker, turning 62 years old today. And she's raising money for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And also Lydia Chavot, turning 65 years old today. And Jennifer Durant, happy birthday to you. And Vet Brooks, turning 58 years old today. And Joyce Campbell, turning 53 years old today. And Maria Agrippina, happy birthday to you. And Joyce Glasgow, happy birthday. And Monique Richardson, happy birthday to you. And Tawana Sloan, since I've known ever since 1984, turning 51 years old today. Happy birthday. And Salome Ito X Cash, happy birthday to you. And Kim B, happy birthday. And my cousin Brittany MB, Brittany Max Beeman, happy birthday to you. And a woman that I've known since the 70s, my girl Karen Denise, turning 55 years old today. And my sister-in-law, Jackie Magito. But hold on, let me see how this say her maiden last name. Jackie Muchanyuka. Happy birthday to you. And that's it. That's the last but not least. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious November 10th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember. Well, hold up. I want to ask y'all a question. Before y'all get up out of here, I want to ask y'all a question. Since we talk about going public with your private business, let me ask y'all this. What if you put the details of a crime that you've done out there in the public? Now, you figure, well, yeah, it's a crime, but it's a crime that I did. I'm not incriminating anybody else. But, I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, I stuck up such and such. Oh, no, maybe you didn't say nobody's name. But, yeah, I stuck up a person, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you named an event and a happening, but you just didn't say the names or whatever to try to protect yourself. Well, somebody might be able to put the pieces together. So even though you consider that to be your private business, you could also have people looking at you some kind of way like, yo, that's the kind of person you are. That's what you do. That's what you think is cool. I said, And the cops might have something to say. The feds might have something to say. Yeah, I used to sell drugs back in the day. I used to push mad weight. Like, Jay-Z spoke of selling all his weight wet. So he would get a better price for his bricks, I guess. He would get a better price, even though it wasn't the true weight of what he was selling. I remember listening to that. I'm like, I was thinking to myself, I hope he's lying. I hope he's lying. Because basically he just told everybody that he jerked everybody. It's not a good look. So if you put the details of a crime that you've done out there in the public, thinking that that's your private business, like I don't live that life anymore. I don't do those things anymore, so it doesn't really matter. You might find that it matters to somebody. Vita B said, take notes from Keefe D. Man, you ain't never done lied. He was in the car of the person who shot Pop. Now you gonna do time. Trying to get Diddy cased up too. All right, y'all. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Daily Go Getimism show. I'm sorry. It'll be the Urban Therapy with Sun show. So make sure y'all come on through. I'm going to go get some rest, but I'm tired. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Y'all have a good night. Peace.